Hi, Stephen Sashin from ZeroShoes.com with our 10-part series. This is number 9 about the mythology that new people to barefoot running have, or the best ways to not think things that will get in the way of you having a lot of fun as you make the transition from wearing shoes to being barefoot, whether you're walking, hiking, running, or doing anything in between. Today we're going to talk about minimalist footwear and barefoot shoes. And the first thing I'm going to say is just because something looks barefoot doesn't mean that it's barefoot. It doesn't mean that you get the same fun and benefits of being barefoot. I did some research with the former head of biomechanics from the U.S. Olympic Committee. It was amazing to see that people who were accomplished barefoot runners would put on some minimalist shoes or some barefoot shoes and suddenly revert to non-barefoot habits. They would have perfect form when they were barefoot, and then they put on some things that I won't mention that kind of do this to your feet, and then they would be overstriding and heel striking and not even know they were doing it. Because just because something looks like feet doesn't mean it's barefoot. Just because something is thin doesn't mean it's going to be close to barefoot, because you can have something thin like a piece of steel that gives you no feedback from the ground. You can have something thick like cotton that, I don't know what the hell that would do. But suffice it to say, don't be fooled. Don't think that thickness is everything. Don't think that looking like feet is everything. What's everything is how well your feet can move and how much they can feel. In fact, it's interesting. If you cover your toes with anything, even a light fabric, that little bit of resistance you'll feel as your toes flex up, as they dorsiflex, as they come towards your knee as you're going through a regular running gait, that little bit of resistance will tell your brain often to not do that natural thing that you should be doing with your toes. So little things can make a big difference in how you actually move. In a related note, do I want to say anything more about the barefoot thing? Not yet. Actually, I will tell you this. We tested a bunch of minimalist and barefoot products against Zero Shoes. People were they had the same biomechanics reliably in a pair of Zero Shoes as they did when they were barefoot. And the reason is simple. Your feet are free, your toes are free, and all it is a little bit of rubber. It's kind of like right before you're running barefoot, but right before your foot hits the ground, someone throws a piece of rubber on the ground. Now, I will say that's not the same as barefoot, because you're landing on a piece of rubber every time, not the varied and variegated surfaces that your feet will feel every time you're going out for a run barefoot. So biomechanically similar, but from a sensation standpoint, not the same. And I'm the first to admit it, even though this is my product. I say Zero Shoes are great for when barefoot isn't the appropriate thing to do, or when you just need a little extra protection. But let's back up. Let's go to the minimalist thing. I want to be clear about minimalist shoes, big air quotes, because minimalist shoes is a fictional concept. I mean, yes, they make them a little lighter, yes, they make them a little more flexible, but what the people who make minimalist shoes did is they took all the benefits that we claim about barefoot and they said you get the same thing from minimalism. There's not one barefoot runner or barefoot friendly podiatrist or barefoot friendly physical therapist or doctor who will say that. It's not the same. And there was some research that recently came out, I'll try and link to it below, or you can find it on our blog, where they checked and found out whether people who were in minimalist shoes made the transition to a different form, to barefoot form, compared to barefoot runners. And not surprisingly, they did not, because you're just not getting enough feedback from the ground and you're restricting little bits of your motion that changes the way you're going to move when you're in minimalist shoes compared to barefoot. So don't be fooled when someone says, hey, this shoe is just like barefoot. Almost by definition, it won't be. So, all that said, we're coming up to part 10 of our video series. If you missed the first parts, we talked about whether you need to toughen your feet. I'm looking at my notes. Whether you should walk to prepare for running, whether you need to strengthen to prepare for running, how to make the transition to running, a whole bunch of things like that. The last one is just my favorite topic about running happily, having fun, etc. And, well, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. Just watch 10. It's a short little video. You'll enjoy it. Until then, feel the freedom, feel the fun, feel the world. Thanks again for watching. I hope that was helpful. Come on over to ZeroShoes.com. We have more articles, more videos, barefoot comedy, and of course our lightweight performance recreation sandals that allow you to feel the freedom, feel the fun, and feel the world.